the difference of the select board's voted upon budget and school committee's voted upon budget is at $125,000. And they are asking if we will continue to collaborate and compromise.
We've purposefully laid out a set of priorities this year, and those priorities include funding full-day kindergarten so that no child has to pay tuition, and maintaining, not a new policy priority, but maintaining staffing at Williams Middle School, maintaining elementary music. What I do think we have to do is look again to see, can we get closer together? If we have to go to the floor of town meeting and amend the budget, does it have to be $125,000, or can it be something else? Can it be something less? Where are there lines where we have an excess, even if it's $3,000? How do we cobble together some sort of reduction that additional reduction we can make to try to close this gap? But I don't think that those reductions should come at the cost of programs. They shouldn't come at the cost of our students.
I just think the two things that were presented to us at the last meeting, which was reducing the tuition and to half, or cutting the teachers at Williams, not entirely, but making most of the cuts that were originally proposed. Those two things I'm not comfortable with.
When I'm saying to the board, at the public forum, that there really isn't anything to cut, else to cut, I want to make sure that that's, accurate, which I believe it is. I mean, we just walked through it.
I mean, when you're at this point, and Russ, I agree with you. I don't agree with you on school choice, but when you're faced with keeping the money in an account and laying staff off, I think you're forced to consider it. How do you not, for one more year, put that decision off until FY18's budget? Who knows how things will break in FY18 for us? What changes may occur in tuitions, transportation, some of the costs we had increase this year. That if we're faced with having to lay staff off compared to using, we've already done it. We've already done it with the other 3 accounts that we incorporated, early February. So if we're here trying to come up with some solution, I would say consider that as a portion of the 125 you need to get to. Yeah.
So,
Because the motion right now is for the parking fund in its entirety and then dividing the remainder equally between school committee and select board. So your amendment is that it's $48,000 or the balance of the parking fund. And $50,000 school choice, asking the select board to fund the remainder.
But I do have some concerns about, crossing a line where we've now built a budget based on about almost $200,000 worth of non-recurring revenues, because that's just distance we have to make up next year. And that's not a position that I think we want to be in. I don't think we want to be at this table again next year having the same conversation and wondering where all our money went. Before we go ahead and make this take a vote to move forward in this way, I think we need to think about those implications down the road. This is not a smart idea. I mean, as much as it accomplishes what we want to accomplish, this is not the way that we want to accomplish it.
So now the motion is what we just read, which is taking 48, offering
48 parking.
Right, offering the select board that we will give them the balance of the parking fund, 48,000 or whatever the balance is, plus 50,000 from school choice, asking them to fund the remaining balance of 27,000.
The only thing the school committee is doing is shifting 50,000 from their general fund to school choice. The rest of our lines would stay the same. The town would then have to figure out on their side how they're handling the 48,000, wherever they're going to reduce their lines from, that could then be charged to the parking fund or fee, and the 27, however they want to address it.
Right.
So I would concur that the change in our budget is a reduction in the general fund of 50,000. Our bottom line doesn't actually change. It's
Right.
what we did
the
earlier with the
general fund.
52,000. We just moved it from one funding source to another 50,000.
Right. All right, so all those in favor? All those opposed? Okay.
Does it pass?
It's 4-3, right, Diane? You said what it was?